Hello, everyone. This is Denise Carpenter from ReikiAssociates.com here, and we're going to continue on with the series Meet the Practitioners at the Lotus Wings building. So I have my own Reiki practice, and then this is my second hat. I'm the manager at the Lotus Wings building, and we have 8 wonderful practitioners that also work out of the Lotus Wings building. We're going to be interviewing Mo Rosteius of Momentous Reiki, and we've just finished Gwen Hughes's interview. So please go back and have a look at the series and see who's there, see how well-rounded now we've become with our practitioners. And now it's time to meet Mo. So Mo, welcome to this interview and this series of Meet the Practitioners. We did this, I think, at the beginning of COVID, and you were indeed one of the practitioners that we interviewed with the masks on and all of those things. So you've been here 5.5 years now,
Yes, I
putting your practice together and embellishing it. And I have to say, I'm so proud of you. And then all the changes and growth that I've watched you kind of move through and incorporate into your practice. It's just been a delight to see how you've put this together. So
Thank
let's
you so
start
much.
with you're welcome. So let's start with question one. I'm going to ask Mo a series of 3 questions, like we ask all the practitioners. So Mo, could you share your personal journey that led you to your current modality? And what was the moment or experience that first drew you to this specific form of healing practice, and how did you become so deeply engaged in it?
Well, I've always been extremely sensitive to energy. An empath child who didn't know how to navigate through the world because what I was feeling and what people would say
Mhm.
didn't match a
Yeah.
lot of the time. And a lot of adults don't like it when a 5-year-old goes, yeah, he's lying. So the other thing is I've always been attached to animals, maybe for that reason, or maybe that's just who I am. But I honestly didn't know that people couldn't understand what an animal was saying because it just seemed so obvious to me. And then as I grew, I became very into sports as a very good way to ground myself.
Mhm.
Movement is something else that is really good to help ground yourself, but I didn't know that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
Um, but as I grew into that, I became a trainer, not like going to the, well, I did teach people how to do stuff at a gym, but I was a trainer for sports. So that meant that when people got hurt, I would tape them to prevent or, deal with that kind of stuff. And then there was the fact that all of my athletes were always like, how do you know exactly where it hurts? And I was like, I don't know.
Mm.
So we had a very big event happen where at Southern Alberta rugby finals for the team of Banff, one of the fellas, Silvio had already hurt himself and we prepped and he got re-injured in the last minute of the game and he was weeping into my hair and I was on the ground holding his knee and I knew there was nothing I could do, but I just sent everything I could to him and all of a sudden we felt this energetic exchange and he was like, what is that? And I said, I think it's me. And anyways, we sat there for 2 minutes just bewildered. He's like, this feels fantastic. I'm like, great. um and then he was fine. He moved his leg in bewilderment and then he got back into the lineup. They blew the whistle, threw the ball, and we won. And after that, everyone had witnessed that. And then I wanted to investigate. And then someone said, do you know about Reiki? And so I went to go see Robin, who was the Reiki master. And as soon as she put her hands on me, I'm like, oh my God, this is what I feel all of the time.
Oh, beautiful.
So Reiki gave me the structure for what I already sensed,
Yeah.
and it's safe and it's ethical and it's shaped who I am and how I approach things.
Mhm.
It's given me the ability to sense what people are going through without judgment in a
Mhm.
way, but more of an energetic judgment.
Mhm.
And it's like a deeper engagement that I have. And the more I did it, the more I was just not seeing the same shifts again, but I could see how energy moved and how it affected people mentally and emotionally and spiritually too. A lot of people guess about spiritually, and I was like forced to go to church. But then when I was done everything, my mom understood that it wasn't for me. I did argue with the minister a lot. He didn't like me very much, but Yeah, it's like I'm all about empowering people to
Yeah.
understand their own energy.
Yeah.
And I spent the first part of my life feeling everything and not knowing what to do with it. So Reiki was the first thing that gave me kind of grounded language for what I was experiencing.
Hmm. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And I think you kind of tapped into question two a little bit there. So for
Oh,
someone completely new to your work, how would you explain your modality in simple, relatable terms? So what's the philosophy behind? So can you just kind of dovetail back into that piece a little bit?
sure. So I actually do energy work as well. I call myself an energy maven. So I'm a Reiki master teacher.
Yeah.
So I'm able to teach everyone all of the ins and outs and symbols and all of the fun stuff about Reiki, but also how to take care of yourself.
Yes.
I created a series called the Empowered Empath, and they're 8 different workshops. They're done once a month because I do give people homework
Mhm.
because understanding energy is not an instantaneous thing. It's not a week to week thing. You've got to sit with it. You've
Yeah.
got to practice it. That's why everything is called a practice,
Mhm.
right? It's a meditation practice. It's a
Mhm.
grounding practice. It's a lot of things. So I I make, I call myself the practical spiritualist,
Mhm.
where I tap it all together, right? I make the mystical practical
Yeah.
because a lot of people want to know what to do, and there's so much information out there.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I did develop too was my soul shift kits. I started another part of my company called Sage and Stone, and that's where all my merchandise is. And I made these kits because I was constantly being asked, like, how do I ground? And what do you mean vibrational presence? Because I love to draw the science into the spiritual because it, validates it.
Exactly.
And so I was asked by a friend to make lists on how to do various things. So I started to do that, and I ended up making these kits that explain how to program a crystal and why does it matter and how to charge them. Little cards about chakras. There's so much to say about chakras,
Yeah.
but little cards that explain what a chakra looks like when it's balanced and what it looks like when it's not. Because
Okay.
so, like, one of my friends came and said, yeah, someone said my sacral chakra is out of whack. I'm like, cool, what does that mean? She's like, I don't know. So I try to give people a point of reference to
Mhm.
start with.
Mhm.
And then, things about your vibrational presence and how to actually reset your vibe.
Yeah.
Things about grounding and about manifesting and what that actually means. I even have one of my kits is called the Love Potion Kit. And
Oh,
it's about loving yourself first to raise your frequency and vibration so that you can attract
yeah.
the person that you seek, which is
Yeah.
actually you.
Well said. Well done.
Thanks.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. So
So an
go on.
expectation that or a benefit that a client would have by coming to you is, I guess they could have a session with you and you have these kits that they could use as a takeaway if they want to, if they choose to.
Yeah, I have them just in brown paper boxes because it's a personal journey for
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
And I've got 12 core kits that I
Mhm.
work from, but I also make custom ones because not
Oh,
everyone's going through the same things.
no.
But I've got one for overwhelm, and it
Mhm.
also has an overwhelm reset note in it. So how to actually, if you're having an overwhelming moment, how to reset that. And the reason for that is because I'm actually an occupational and physical therapy assistant as well. And I've been working with people with brain injuries for the last 6 years. So I understand what you need in the moment to deal with anxiety and overwhelm and how to bring yourself back to yourself. Because Reiki energy is all about resetting your nervous system.
Mhm.
And I don't want people to be dependent on me. I want to empower them to do it themselves.
Mhm.
So I offer these cards that are 5x7, double sided, to show you how and why. Because I was that kid
Yeah.
that was always like, why? And as an adult, you're not going to get me to do anything if I don't know why I should do it.
That's good.
So, yeah. So I always say, why do you care about grounding?
Mhm.
Why do you need to understand chakras? Like, what does that mean for you? How do affirmations work and why do you want to use them?
Mhm.
What is an intention? And I offer also, so as a kid, I was really sick because I was an empath and nobody could figure it out, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I taught myself how to meditate by staring at the flame of a candle. So
Yeah.
in every kit, I have an explanation of how to do this because what I realized was every time I blew out that candle, within a couple of weeks, something would happen that
Mhm.
I was thinking about. And that's just focused intention.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And
Yeah.
you have to give it the time and space to come to you,
Yeah.
you know?
Okay.
So it's all teaching people how to embody themselves, but do it on their own.
Yes.
And, like when I have ones on divorce and breakups and things, because like, what do you give someone who's grieving too? I have ones for grief and
Yeah.
animal grief. Like, what do you give people? You
Yeah.
give them something that they can use themselves to help them get through it, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you see this beautiful tail just keeps going in behind you, this nice, fluffy, beautiful tail, and it just brings joy to see him doing what he's doing. So you also have branched out your practice to include a full animal Reiki practice. Can you
I
speak
sure
about
do.
that a
Yeah.
bit? Hmm.
Absolutely. So I started animal Reiki about 5 years ago,
Hmm.
and I work with all sorts of animals, goats, horses, dogs, cats, birds, and I even do a lot of distant work. So I have regular clients that I see in from Singapore. I have people in Portugal. I
Hmm.
have people on the West Coast, Kingston, Toronto,
Yeah.
and I never see them in person.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of distant work. It really does work.
Mhm.
And I also work out of Kelly Johnson's clinic. It's an
Mhm.
animal chiro clinic, and
Mhm.
I'm there every Thursday afternoon and part of the evening.
Mhm.
And I do make house calls as well, because when you have fear and anxious animals, they're easier to see when they're at their home because it's less
Yeah.
stressful.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not only do I go to do that, but like I offer a 2 hour initial assessment and treatment because I need to understand where the animal's coming from. And
Mhm.
then my job too is not, again, to be dependent on me all the time, but I want to help the human understand how they can help their animal companions.
Yeah.
So, how they perceive and understand what the animal might be going through instead of assuming or deciding what the animal is going through.
Mhm.
I've done a lot of work and study with my mentor, Christine Noble Feller. She's out of Kingston.
Mhm.
And I really, this is why I do everything. It's animals and empaths for me all day long. And I have two big fellows. One of them wants to go outside right now, Clyde and Luke. And they teach me things. They're both here for different reasons. And if you have animals in your life, they're here to teach you something.
Yes.
They are master teachers and healers.
Mhm.
They are remarkable creatures. And if we just give them the time and um, our hearts and open our eyes to see what they actually can bring to the table, you
Yeah.
will be blown away.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Now your final question. And
Mhm.
then you can let him go outside. So poor
Okay.
guy. Yeah. So Lotus Wings is a collection of practitioners dedicated to integrated health here in Perth, Ontario. What is it about the mission and community here at the Lotus Wings Center that attracted you to join and practice in this location?
Well, first of all, it was you. You
Mm.
have an incredible reputation, and I've also experienced many Reiki sessions, and you were my master for my teaching,
Mhm.
and I appreciate you so much. But you also um, allow us to grow and expand on our own. There's no controlling, and um, when your energy is stronger, you just feel better. And I know everyone feels that when they walk into Lotus Wings. And it's a blend of, like I can't do everything. I'm not here to do everything. It's not my job to do everything. But if I know that someone else that I work with can,
Mhm.
then I will send them there. And it's super easy because you have pamphlets outside and all of that fun stuff. And the other thing too is that we get to talk to each other. We get to lean on each other a little bit. And every single person that I've met that works at Lotus Wings is very much a collaborative person.
Yes, yes.
And it's holistic without being woo as well. Like a lot of people don't understand how practical all of this stuff is. And
Oh,
that's like you have a homeopath there. Like
mhm.
she's amazing,
She
Mary.
is. Yeah.
And um, I'm big on collaboration and people don't live in one lane,
No.
right? So it's all the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the energetic. They're all connected. And that's where Lotus Wings understands that.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, thank you for figuring out how to make this happen today because you had a few computer glitches before we got started. So you worked your way through here and you've landed perfectly where it needs to be. And what days are you in Perth? And if people want to find you and book sessions, how do they do that?
If they right now, I'm next year I'm going to be having a calendar where you can book in, but
Yeah.
at the moment, you just either contact me through my website, which is momentous.ca,
Mhm.
and you can also text me at 613-818-5108.
Right.
I'm at Lotus Wings on Fridays and 3 Saturdays a month, not the third one.
Mhm.
Might be adding another day too because I'm pretty busy.
Yeah.
And you can contact me through my website or my phone for any animal stuff as well. And then Thursdays, I'm at the animal clinic.
Mhm.
And I also work out of Trillium Family Chiropractic on Tuesday afternoon evenings in Carlton Place.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah,
lots of ways to connect, but mainly through your website. So I'll put all of that in the notes below the video so that people will be able to get a hold of you through the website and through texting and
that'd
can
be
book
great.
in. Yeah. And are you doing Reiki at Trillium Chiropractic?
I am. Yeah, I'm doing human Reiki there.
Okay,
And I
good.
do have my Empowered Empath workshops that I do one in Perth, and
Yes.
that's on Saturdays, usually the first Saturday of the month, but it depends. And it's $35. It's 2 hours. We got quite the group going on right now. I think
Yeah.
everyone's enjoying it. And then I do one out of Amethyst, which is in Carlton Place, and it's a crystal store on Bridge Street at 165 Bridge Street.
Excellent. Okay, so lots of places to get a hold of you in lots of ways. So wonderful. And I'm so glad you're here. And as I
Thank you.
say, it's just warmed my heart to watch you put all this together and expand your practice into where you've got it today. And I'm really excited to see where you're going to take it. So yeah,
Yeah.
we'll just see what happens. So thank you for coming in today, and we will see you soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Denise. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.